Hello, this is Purge, bringing you first person replay commentary. This is not the game that I wanted to be recording right now, but unfortunately I think replays are bugged in some ways. I had played like 6 games of Dota yesterday, and 2 of the games I really wanted to make VODs out of. One was a Visage game and one was an Axe game, but there's a replay issue where some of them crashed at about 1 minute in, and the 2 games that I want to make VODs out of both crash. And all the games that I don't want to make VODs out of don't crash. I don't know if it's a access issue, like which ones I access first are bugged, but the first 2 that I looked at were both bugged, and then the 3 after that were not bugged. And this is one of those 3. It's a mediocre game. I don't think I played well at all, but a video is a video, I guess, so hopefully you get something out of this. I made a lot of mistakes this game, so hopefully we can talk about those. I wasn't planning to upload this because I thought I played pretty bad, and it wasn't like a super good demonstration of the hero, but at least we can learn something out of my mistakes, I guess. And again, I'm sorry that this one's gonna suck, kind of. I mean, we still did well, but it wasn't like flawless, and I didn't think I gave a good demonstration of the hero. Let's just say I missed a lot of pounces. Okay, all right. So first things first. When we loaded in this game, I was talking to someone on Skype urgently, and at the same time also playing a Hearthstone game. So I was actually doing 3 things at the same time for the first 2 minutes of this game. So if my movement patterns end up being really weird, that's going to be why. So I was going to play offlane. I got random gold. If I didn't have random gold, I would have 1 less slipper of agility. The slipper of agility gives me 3 damage, 3% attack speed, and like half of an armor point. But more importantly, what it gives me is almost finishes my poor man's shield. And if you look at their heroes, they actually have a lot of melees. Yeah, they got 3 melees. And I don't know what my lane's going to be like, but creating a fast poor man shield is usually pretty good, because if you do get harassed, then it will block all that damage instead of, or at least it'll block 20 damage 100% of the time instead of block 20 damage 60% of the time. And just having the extra agility is always kind of nice, just to give you some more attack speed and damage. So offlane Slark in pubs is pretty fine. I don't really recommend it in competitive organized games, because people will be a lot better about punishing you, because Slark, if the opponents are playing well and they keep you at level 1, then you're really going to have a rough time getting experience and all that good stuff. So no rune for me. I'm going to dodge an arrow, aka see that an arrow was coming, but saw that I was okay, and I'm playing Hearthstone, I think. Alright, back to Dota. Good. Okay. Playing Hearthstone between queues is the worst when it actually starts. I think I got the block. We'll see. I think I got some of the block. I think at some point you're gonna get real annoyed the first couple minutes, and I apologize. See, like that, I alt tab for a second. Had to like do some moves. Grab pounce at level 1. Cool interaction about Jug and Slark is when Jug spin goes off, it does a lot of AoE damage, and it makes it magic immune. Where is it? There it is. Alright, so finish my poor man's shield. I didn't realize I was going to be able to get that last hit. I thought he wasn't going to go for it, but if he's magic immune, that means that I'm able to, if I pounce, it actually doesn't hit him because he's magic immune. So if I want to and he's spinning on me, I can actually just pounce away. And like the first 30 minutes of this game, I was actually scared of pouncing into him, because if you pounce and somebody's standing in front of you, you stop flying. So you can't use it as an escape move then. And it ends up being a little scary. That was a really weird fissure. I actually just hit him a lot here. And now I'm going to turn. I was really surprised that actually hit me, because if I just would have ran away, I would have been fine. But the reason I pounced on him was because if the bottom wasn't there, I had a guaranteed kill. Because Essence Shift gives you, it reduces their HP by 19 at least, in addition to doing the damage, because it reduces their strength by 1. And then every subsequent hit does a higher percentage of damage, basically. So Essence Shift trades are really in your favor. Plus, he didn't have a Stout Shield, and I had a Poor Man's Shield. So with Earthshaker already fissuring, there was no way that I was going to lose that unless a stun happened to hit me. And I think the Potom thought that I was going to juke there. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if the Potom actually thought that I was going to turn and fight that guy. I'm not entirely sold on that, but if that arrow went to hit me, then I would have gotten the first blood instead. So I'm just not entirely sure yet if that was on purpose. Anyways, this matchup, Slark versus Jug, is actually really good for Slark, in my opinion. I mean, Jug can do damage to me, but I have like the easiest escape ever with Pounce. If I'm ever scared, I can just pounce away. It only costs 75 mana. I can harass him a lot easier than he can harass me. For him to harass me, he has to right-click me, but that's not very good for him because I have Essence Shift and a Poor Man's Shield. If he gets a Poor Man's Shield, it's a bit better for him, but it's still not a very good trade. So I've got Essence Shift, and if I want to do damage to him, I can nuke him with Pounce, and for him to nuke me, he has to spin on me, but for him to spin on me, I can always just pounce away. So I can... His trading is not the best, unless he gets maybe Slash or something like that. You know, his critical. My last inning was like garbage at the beginning of the game. So this trading is really only good if he gets a Poor Man's Shield as well, and he also gets his crit level. That's really the only way that things become okay here. I think I was playing Hearthstone right here.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And at some point I ended up winning my Hearthstone game, which, you know, is important. I feel like he should have played a little bit more aggressive there, but I'm not sure. I couldn't believe he let me kill that. It was really confusing. And then he came up here, I couldn't believe it. I think even if that hit me, I was going to be okay. Pretty sure. Oh, I didn't even realize I wasted a tango there. Wasted like 30 HP. So boots fast and magic stick pickup I think are pretty good. I just want to be able to stay alive if possible. I had a missed experience on that catapult. That was a big mistake. I think I was playing Hearthstone again. So I should have been able to leap. I think maybe I was cooldown or something. I'm not entirely sure. I kind of wanted to just run them around here. So I'm not too worried about dying against those two heroes. He already used his spin. If the arrow lands, I'm in a bad spot, but he ended up missing the arrow. Now I'm worried about the fissure breaking myself, but I mean, making those heroes run around, two heroes running around in a circle like that is pretty good considering I'm already level 5. So I'm just going to back up and I think finish my Hearthstone game. I think this is where I won. Get ready for the victory, guys. You won't be able to see it, but I can promise you that I won. Maybe I was talking on Skype here. Fun game, right guys? So I could have been sapping experience right here. I'd probably be level 6 by now if I was doing this. They might be a little confused about this, but whatever. Once you hit 6, you'll be hitting full regen if you need to. You can also be a little bit more greedy about going for kills. Luckily, because I died a bunch this game, we can see some of the ways that you can counter Slark.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Getting so many oops. Nope. My mana's a little low, which is another problem that I have right now.
Denied.
Getting him to spin is also really good because it costs him a lot of mana. And Juggernauts need a lot of mana to be able to do a spin and an ulti combo. So if I force him to spin once in a while, it's just fantastic for my ability to be safe in the lane, basically. It's the same thing when you play Clockwork versus Juggernaut, because that actually, you have a way to lower his mana pool. So Clockwork versus Jug generally wants to drain him with his cogs so that he's not threatened offensively as well. And that's just another way that you can play around your opponent when you're in a matchup versus a Juggernaut. Luckily, he's one of the easier ones to exploit, more so than most other matchups. Now, the mistake I made there is that I could have just leapt right away. I didn't have to wait that long to jump. As soon as I turn, I can leap. Because he's magic immune, I'm not going to catch on him. I would just fly right through. So I took a little bit more damage than I needed to there. In the grand scope of things, it's not that big of a deal because I had my ultimate, so I'm going to heal to full anyways. But in terms of safety reasons, it would have been better if I just leapt a little faster, let him waste his mana, do whatever. And now he's leaving the lane again to go pull. And this is really smart of him to do because he's in a bad matchup. He just used the rest of his mana to spin, which means that I can now pressure him and do damage to him a lot easier. So he can't really be in lane as safely, so it's better for him to pull. And it also puts the lane in a safer place, at least for a period of time. Thought I was gonna be able to get that one. I do have treads finished though. I should have bought them here, and I now realized. So I wasted a little time there. Treads is almost always the boots you should get on Slark. If you're playing a safe farmer role, you can sometimes get phase, maybe. I think when Slark first came out, a lot of people actually got phase. Not when he first came out, but when he was first played in the pro scene. He was played in the, I think, TI3 qualifiers, maybe? Yeah, the TI3 qualifiers, Slark was played, I believe. Something like that. I can't remember. It was Miggle, I think, was the guy who was playing him. He played in mid, he went phase and drum. Treads is generally the best to get though, just because we want to get a lot of attack speed up. That way we can do more essence shifts. And you guys might be curious why I ended up getting 2 levels in essence shift. It's because it doubles the duration, and if I'm in a 1v1 matchup against a melee hero, I can abuse that extra stat gain and the temporary stat steal in my advantage. And now he's had to leave the lane because I did a lot of damage again. So it's okay to get maybe 2 levels of the stat steal. I wouldn't recommend getting more than that though. It's probably not even that worth getting the second point, because most of these stats are just going to go to waste anyways. As you can see, they eventually drain away. Oops. I shouldn't really miss any last hits when there's nobody in the lane. But I do kind of want to push the lane a little bit. And if you're not in combat, make sure that you go in the side jungle, that way you can regen. I was going to go look to see if there's anyone around. I know that there are a lot of your heroes roaming mid, and I have a pretty good level at this point. My mana's pretty high. I've got a lot of pounce levels, so my ability to kill heroes is quite high. But since all these guys are running top, I realize that me coming in is probably going to be useless, especially with Jug being back bottom again. So I'm going to show up back bottom again. Now, another thing to remember is I really have to be careful with my ulti here. He can kill me with an Omni Slash and a spin. It's possible. It's unlikely, but it's possible. This is when I realized that you could pounce right through it. I was like, oh, you can pounce right through this, which is, you know, a good solution. Another 110 mana for him is gone. It's also very good to tread switch before you pounce, if you can do that. If you do that, your mana's going to go a lot farther. Slark's imp gain is pretty bad. Oops. It is 1.9. His stat gain is garbage all around. I really hope you never get this here in ability draft, because his stat gain is so bad. But what was I saying? Yeah, tread switching, really important. And here I think I purchased a Belt of Giant Strength, if I'm not mistaken. And there we go, we got another spin out of him. I didn't do that very clean at all, but... And that's where things get dangerous. I maybe could have chased that, but my chances of dying to Omni Slash were like really high in my opinion. That was really, I think it was sloppily done by me. I maybe should have just not hit the healing ward. The healing ward was probably healing him for 20 or 30 HP per second, but one extra attack might have been enough to kill him. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest, but I actually lost more than he lost there, I think. Because I ended up using my ulti. I ended up using all of my mana there. We did get a TP out of the Earthshaker, which is, you know, it's okay, but I'm going to go back to the bot lane now. I'm going for a drum as well as treads. It's really important that you do get your movement speed up as a Slark, and getting your mana pool up a bit is really good too. A Bracer is honestly a great item for early game Slark. I was looking to jump on him here. I assumed they had a ward, but unfortunately, now I know where the ward was. It was over in that rune spot. It was over here, and they were able to spot me sneaking through. So ended up getting him. Just trying to regen as much as we can. The axe is coming to gank, so I maybe should have stayed and right-clicked more, but all worked out fine. And now I'm going to be maxing out Dark Pact. Really important that you do cast Dark Pact before you get stunned. It's his first ability. And it actually does damage. It does damage to yourself, but what it's really good for is removing negative debuffs that are on your hero. It doesn't remove some things like Bloodseeker Silence, Rupture, Viper Strike I believe doesn't get removed anymore, but it's a really good ultimate, or a really good spell, just because if you know that your opponents have disables and you're about to force the fight with them, like if you jump on a Shadow Shaman or you jump on a Lion, and he's obviously going to disable you as soon as you jump on him, just prepare the Dark Pact, that way it goes off as soon as the disable lands, and after that moment you should guarantee kill, because a lot of those heroes, if they don't have a disable, they're going to die 100%, so being able to predict exactly when they're going to cast that is really important. So I'm even going to cast it here. Just because pushing the lane is pretty good. And I've got my drone finished. I'll be full HP again. I might come roaming again now. Definitely needed to burst that guy down. Couldn't believe I didn't get him. That was my bad though. Alright, we still got him. I missed a lot of pounces. I needed to angle my pounce more because the direction that I was traveling, he was traveling a slightly different way than me, which is why I needed to angle my pounce. So that was my bad. We knew they had a ward there, and I was trying to figure out exactly where it was. Man, I'm so good at that. If I would have pounced him, there's a okay chance that I maybe would have killed him. Now the main things that I'm worried about this game is the Clinks. The Clinks is a hero that always builds an Orchid, and if Slark is silenced, he can get bursted down. He generally needs his ulti or to use Dark Pact first. So if I use Dark Pact and then the Orchid comes, it will remove the Orchid. But if Clinks is invisible next to me and I don't realize that, and he silences me as he does damage, then I'm just going to get blown up. So it's really important that you predict what they're going to do with Dark Pact. It's good for me to roam like this too, I think, because it's creating a lot of pressure on the map. If you watch how they're playing, they played like this like every game that we played against them, but these guys like sit together a lot. That was a pretty easy kill there. We were pretty patient about that one. Having a stun to lead into my damages is really good. Now what a lot of Slarks in the pro scene have been doing the last, I don't know, couple months. He's not picked as much as he was a while ago, but maybe like 2 or 3 months ago, Slarks would do Blink Dagger first in the safe lane, and it's really cool to see that build because it gives you a lot more mobility, and most importantly, it allows you to blink and then pounce. So it guarantees that your pounce lands. You don't have to use movement speed items as much to initiate. You can just blink initiate, and all of a sudden you do 240 damage, I believe, from pounce, because pounce is a pretty decent nuke. It used to be 300, but it does 240 now. 240 from pounce and 300 from Dark Pact. So you could hit for 540 damage guaranteed at the start of the fight, and then you can use your ultimate to go invisible. So having a Blink Dagger quickly, it mostly guarantees your damage without needing to, if I can land this. Dismember was good. They did a nice job on me. I probably shouldn't have gone for that kill. Probably not. It's honestly not worth it, I don't think. It's a support bottom for an off lane, so I should be higher leveled than the rest of them, and that would mean that me giving my experience away is very likely not worth it. So looks like he's gonna die there. Yeah, it probably wasn't worth it. I do pick up a Blade of Alacrity here. Most Slarks at this point go for some HP. Something like a Sanjay Yasha is pretty common, just because you don't need any regen items because you have your ultimate. So they just go for items that allow you to chase, give more HP, movement speed. It's all really good stuff. Looks like we're gonna lose the Doom maybe. I'll take this opportunity to just farm for a little bit, because I would like to finish my Yasha. This game though, I think I needed something a little different. I needed to either rush a really fast Blacking Bar to get in preparation for the Orchid, or I needed to make a Manta. And the Manta is going to serve two purposes here. What a BKB doesn't do is it doesn't stop Omni Slash damage from hitting you. You can stop that by using Shadow Dance, your ultimate, but I don't really want to have to rely on BKB just to remove a silence just so I can ulti. It's like a lot of things just to counteract one thing, in my opinion, or two-ish things. So by making a Manta, it serves two purposes. I can either Manta split to spread out the Omni Slash damage upon my illusions, Or I can use the Manta to remove my Orchid. So I think this is an okay game to go Manta style, at least for a pub. If this was a serious pro game and there were more stuns on the enemy team, you would definitely go BKB here, because stopping the stuns is a lot more important. Urshiku is like one of the heaviest stunning supports in the game, so being able to stop him from doing that to you is really, really important. I saw like a weird arrow animation or something like that, so I was checking to see if the bottom was over here. She did end up being over here, but instead I'm just going to go back and last hit more. I found a DD, which I'm going to be happy to use. Fortunately, they did have a ward here. But you can kind of cheat with this. I was scared that the Unalkling still wasn't there. Watch for this icon here. If this icon is up, you know that they can't see you, basically. If this icon's gone, that means they can't see you. And this is what I should have done in this case. We were waiting for the bottom here. Or we're waiting to see if Clink spotted us or something like that. And I should have been watching my icon.
Radiant's top tower has been denied.
I actually ended up finding...
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. You had no place here.
Got a punch kill.
No
I probably should have ran there.
Radiant's
Probably
middle
should have
tower
ran.
is under attack.
I got a kill at least. I think I actually ended up not losing much gold, if any. But it was definitely greedy. Gotta wait till I click on my hero again. These guys were spending a little bit too much time, in my opinion, on the top lane, not getting things done. Considering how often all of these heroes are in this area of the map, I think the rest of our allies were not being quite aggressive enough. Looks like I maybe saved a lot of gold. I'm not entirely sure though. But it probably wasn't worth going for that. But the problem was that I was in these trees the whole time, so I didn't see my ultimate go away. If I was sitting here and they would have turned the corner, I may have realized that they were there, and we might have been able to survive that. But it didn't really work out like that, unfortunately.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So I'm going to TP back to the bot lane. Since we do have that tier 1 tower, I can basically farm the lane, go into the jungle, look for kills, and it basically creates not a very safe zone for the opponents to be at, which is something that you usually want to do with your hero. You usually do want to create pressure. If you're like a hard to kill hero that has kill potential on your opponents, you generally want to do this. Farm the lane, farm their jungle. If they come into their jungle to farm, then you're going to be there. And then if you still have your jungle, this should lead to an overall net gain in farm for your team. It's important that you do this. A lot of players, if they're having a good game, they play too safe, and they don't create pressure on the map, and it's important that you do create pressure. It's kind of like how I played Anti-Mage the other day. When I made the Anti-Mage video, I said it's important to farm the lane while also pressuring the lane, because if you're only passively farming, then it allows your opponents to completely 5v4. And if things go badly, then the game is just going to get out of control, because they'll have too much farm advantage, basically. This is when I kind of realized I had a ward over to the right, so I just wanted to get my regen up really fast. See, so by pressuring here, I can make the Juggernaut be a little worried, basically. I got the healing ward here. I was a little late. I maybe should have kept going. I'm not entirely sure. But I did end up using my ultimate. This is not good. Oh, I remember this part now. I kind of wanted to make plays on people if possible.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
He fucking juked me so hard. Boy, did I get outplayed. Fuck. Oh, I was so sad about that. And I was 1 second away till Shadow Dance. Ah, God. I should have had that kill, but I messed it up real bad. He juked me so hard. If he wanted to dodge me, I would have killed him 100%. And then I maybe could have stayed alive for my ultimate. And then maybe gotten more kills, but he outplayed me big time there. I'm really not good at pouncing on Slark, though. Boy, my bad.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Okay, still an my Manta still finished. If we check what Clinks is working with, he actually does have an Orchid here, so I have to be a little safe. My HP is pretty high and I'm quite leveled, so I'm not super worried about dying. Plus, I'm just going to be really careful to watch my Shadow Dance icon. If my Shadow Dance icon goes away, that means I know somebody's watching me. I love these big creep waves though, because I know I can get all the last hits. Dark Pack's really good for farming. And that's Clinks TP in the bot lane, which means he's probably coming to gank me, and I do seem to remember that we had an interaction at some point. How their whole team is in their jungle. It's so inefficient. They're like really not farming well. And, like they kill Axe here, but it doesn't, like, congrats, they got an Axe. We still have what, we have 4 heroes farming right now, and they killed 1 hero. And literally in one creep wave, I farm almost as much as their whole team does by killing Axe. It's really not worth it. They get experience from it, but we actually have 4 heroes getting gold right now. There's no way that the gold graph is in their favor. Like, it's like super leveling off, but just barely. So doing Ancients is something you can do. It's not super recommended because it does take a while for Slark to kill him, but losing all this HP isn't that bad. Oh, I forgot to mention, if you're playing Slark and you're against a Bloodseeker, you gotta buy Tranquil Boots, by the way. The reason is because Shadow Dance only works if your opponents can't see you, and if you ever get below half HP, a Bloodseeker will be able to see you, so it'll be impossible for you to regen, unless you use regen items or use your ulti. Your ulti, he can't see you. If you buy Tranquil Boots and you sit out of combat, you'll regen really fast, and what the important part is getting to the halfway point. If you get to the halfway point with your regen, then as soon as I saw him pop out, I just sleep, and then I'm going to be fine. Just run away from him until Orchid runs out. And now I want to fight him, because he doesn't have Orchid anymore. So now I don't care. I'm not worried once he uses Orchid. Plus, he didn't do that very smart, so I assume he's not a very good player. So I wasn't too worried. If multiple heroes come, then I should be in a panic, but they did not, so. So I've almost got my Manta finished. I'm going to run mid. Doesn't really look like I'm going to be able to do anything, though. Should have grabbed that illusion. Okay, I do.
Illusion.
I think I'm going to use it to go farm. So I just want to finish the Manta so I don't have to worry about dying. And then the dragons do AoE damage, which is why I ran to the other side of my illusions, because if I stood by my illusions, they would actually die to AoE damage. So I thought it was a lot better to run to the opposite side.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Alright, so Manta's flying out. I'm going to send those mid to farm. I could pressure bottom again. That looks like I'm coming top because I want to fight. So I want to use Manta during Omni Slash, during Orchid. You can use it to dodge stuns, but it's not the easiest. We're trying to get Doom to come top. He had like very little impact this game. I did get arrowed. Okay, yep, I got arrowed there. They're setting up for that. I should have, after getting hooked, I should have been able to Manta or ulti, but I got arrowed right before I got hooked. So because of that, I was stunned, and I was guaranteed dead there. So that was just really unfortunate. I was trying to save the Manta for the Omni Slash, but the arrow hit me. They were setting up on the Weaver for a while there, so that was unfortunate. That's pretty unlucky, kind of. Although maybe I should have just expected it because they have been like 5 men roaming the whole game.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Still more fighting going on. Kind of wanted to get a dust as well. I think I had it queued up here. Getting a dust is good because it allows me to solo kill the Clinks maybe. I don't have the best chase against the Clinks because he's a pretty fast hero, but I can't afford to get it either. But so I'm gonna continue pushing bottom now. I maybe could have gone top to try to help out the team, but again, this gives me a little bit more farm. If we can get that tower, and I can also farm in the meantime, then it's completely worth it. If they have a fight and they don't get the tower because of it, then it's probably not worth it. I probably should have been there. I like tread switching when I do Dark Pact as well. It's a little unnecessary when I have this much int, but in the early levels it's good. You go to int treads to cast the Dark Pact, and then you switch to strength treads to absorb the damage from the Dark Pact. So it's kind of like you're tread switching twice. You tread switch for the int, and then you tread switch for the damage. And it keeps my mana pretty full. You don't really need to do it that much late game. Like, once you have drum and a treads, you're pretty okay with a wand, but just buy a lot of stat items basically on Slark. It's good to have all the stat items because the stat gain is so bad. So now, because I went bottom, I got a lot of farm. I got the tower. They got the tower. So we got 2 towers out of that. Plus I can maybe pressure a Rax or threaten a Rax. That way they can't necessarily go 5-man top. They're going to have to come defend what I'm doing. Here's the Juggernaut, for example. Kinda wanted him to Omni-Slash me. This is pretty dangerous. I barely dodged that stun. The enchant totem, I basically accidentally dodged it with Manta Style, but I should have died there probably. I didn't do a very good job focus firing. I kind of just used my ulti and was like, maybe I should go in, maybe I shouldn't. And wasting all that opportunity really hurt me. You can't dilly-dally that much. You can't, like, sit around and wait to see what you should do. You have to, like, know what you should do as you're doing it. Otherwise, it's not going to be worth it. Bit of an unnecessary... I was surprised he actually got me there. So I die again. I'm gonna go towards the Scotty now, just because I'm kind of dying a lot and I want to get my HP up a lot higher, basically.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
So,
Radiant's middle
I don't know if I
tower
finished
is
my,
under attack.
my sentence or not, but the reason the Scotty's good in this case is because increasing your overall HP is really good if you're dying a lot. Scotty is great on Slark because it slows people down as well, so you can continuously steal stats from them. Eventually you will beat the... Like, Slark is by far one of the best heroes in a 1v1 situation, assuming they don't have evasion, just because you're constantly stealing stats, you're constantly getting more and more damage, you're reducing their HP, or reducing their mana pool. It can force them to make mistakes if they're at a dangerous mana point, things like that. So I'm going to sell my poor man's shield here. I'll hold the ultimate orb because that's far more survivability, at least against enemy heroes. I'm going to find a Clinks here. I was kind of hoping to get within EXP range, but I was a little late. I should have pounced earlier because I could have gotten experience in like 70 gold there. So now I'm going to move around and look to see where their wards are, basically, and maybe initiate on the bot lane. It's kind of scary.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Ready for the best pounce of your life? There we go. That was a big on me. Alright. That fight was not the best for us.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Kind of scary. And there's the regen. So when you're playing Slark, it's just really good to weave in and out of fights. Missed another one, hell yeah. If I had Blink, this would be a lot easier to land. Gotta get Blink and then practice a little bit. The practice part's pretty important. I did end up getting Blink later this game, but I kind of learned a little bit a bit about using Blink at some point. And I just want to get out of there as fast as possible, so I'm going to leap away. We're just having trouble kind of stealing the deal because we're overdiving slightly. We just need to like commit to kills and slow push. Diving past and getting echo slammed is really hurting us. This looks bad. Alright, now it's really bad. Once he blocked my pounce, I was definitely gonna die. So once you get an Aghanims, it's like a 6-second cooldown, so you can actually ulti creeps. It's really good if you want a movement speed boost for your whole team, and it's a huge boost. It's like 50% for 5 seconds or something. Really good boost. Just ulti creep, especially at level 16. I think you can ulti melee creeps as well as range. So they end up taking a couple of our towers here. Clinks does do really good physical damage. Me throwing my life away there was pretty bad, though. I needed to not make that mistake. Another really common Slark item is actually Orb of Venom in the early game. Orb of Venom is really great because it's kind of like a cheap Scotty. That was a cool combo. Not the best fight for us, unfortunately.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
It's not very wise to start a fight when not everybody's there, but we're pretty far ahead, and we're feeling confident in our lead, so I don't think we were super worried about losing this. But I'm alive again. I'm going to do the same kind of thing. Farm bot lane, farm jungle, pressure the jungle. I really shouldn't have died this many times. I died way too many times. Some of them were really well done by our opponents, so it wasn't just that I played bad, but Slark should really not die very much. Should be a lot more. He's like one of the easiest heroes to snowball on, just because, well, he's not. His offense isn't super capable. Like Face's Void, for example, is really easy to snowball on because you can make the choices like, oh, I can kill this guy in Chronosphere right now. I know that's a fact. But if you're playing a hero like Slark, it's more like I hear like Slark is more hard to kill. He's more offensive, basically. There we go. So no Omni Slash. Just gonna wait and heal up. Full 4 is so good. It's really amazing. Somebody has a... Who's the AC? Oh, let's do him. He just has Blink AC. Weird. So I told him that ward was over in the jungle. I remember that. Actually, don't know where they're popping out. I don't remember this part. Huh. Well, there's one guy mid. What a weird pot of malt.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
I think Clinks is pushing top. As long as we take our racks, it's not that bad. But we haven't really taken our racks yet, so.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
I probably should have started hitting the jug there, I think. And it was also a mistake to Manta style there because it just made the Echo Slam hit harder. We thought for sure the Clinks was going to come high ground.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So we lost 3 heroes pretty much for nothing. I think we doomed somebody, but it's not looking too good.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
He went a little far. I was like trying to predict where he was gonna go so that I could jump on him. Look how much agility I stole. That's my mouse. 102 agility. I stole 100 stats from these guys. Like, it's hitting so hard there. Alright, so we won the fight. That was pretty fun. We didn't get the clinks. We should have gotten him. It was really close. But we didn't have dust, unfortunately.
Oh, you were an ugly one.
Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Look at the slows. Look at the damage.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
This is kind of dangerous. Wait, that was really dangerous too. Yeah, I saw that. We saw that kill coming. He was gonna dag on me. He actually has a lot of good burst damage, so that was my bad. I should have ran a little earlier, and I should have leapt earlier. Again, I went to caught him if his spin was still going, but I waited so long that he was able to get me. So, I'm just gonna speed up because I'm dead for so long here. I don't remember what I ended up buying at this point. Oh, Blink Dagger, yeah. I had like 2,000 gold, so I was like, I'll just probably get a Blink or something, because I'm having some trouble laying pounces or escaping sometimes, things like that. You can also always use Dark Pact. Oh yeah, one of the counters that I meant to talk about was one of the counters is AoE stunts. Sand King's really good lines, okay. Earthshaker's fantastic, just because you always know where the Slark is, because there's that black cloud on the ground. But if you know where he is, and he's already used Dark Pact, just throw a stun, and then throw another stun, and throw another stun, and then all of a sudden your Shadow Dance duration is completely wasted. And if the duration is wasted, then you should be able to kill him afterwards, because it's by far the biggest thing that makes it difficult. Makes it difficult to score the kill. It's a little worried about an Orchid there, but it's like 2 heroes top.
Regeneration.
Got my 40 mana. I kind of feel like I could have fought that there, but now I have more HP, I guess. Ooh, that was close.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack.
This is where Slark gets super annoying. I mean, all you have to do is, like, I went through like 2.5 HPs in that whole fight. Oh, it was the funniest thing ever.
Radiant's bottom barracks.
So because the fissure was there, it like messed up my leap or something like that, and then I accidentally leaped in the same direction that he panic blinked to, so I was able to still follow up. That's pretty funny.
Radiant's middle tower is under Radiant's top barracks.
I have a bunch of stats stolen again. It's 51 damage, 51 attack speed.
Radiant's top barracks has fallen. Radiant's middle barracks has fallen. Radiant's middle barracks has fallen. The Dire now have mega creeps. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's
So,
middle tower has
Slark, get some
fallen.
survivability items, get your HP up a lot. Buy some utility items. Scotty is usually a good transition. BKB is usually pretty good. BKB is usually important. Maybe some other items work out as well. Sandra and Yasha, Manta. Generally don't get Manta, but if they have an Orchid, you need a BKB or a Manta, either one. And I felt like doing Manta because I don't like getting BKBs in pubs too much. So, Scotty's great. BKB, sometimes Butterfly. Corey really likes Midas Lincolns, or at least he used to. We don't really play Slark anymore, but he used to always go Midas Lincolns into like Abyssal Blade with, you know, major carry items. So things like that are pretty good. But feel free to offlane Slark. Just look for kills on supports. Again, Essence Shift allows you to trade really easily, and that's one of the things that you need to be able to abuse pubs in most cases. Like when you play Faceless Void, you can abuse trading on people that think it's not as strong as it is. Trade efficiently. Usually force them to get kills. Like you get kills on them when they're overstating how strong they are. So look for those kind of things when you play Slark. Anyways, that's it for the game. If you guys like the Slark game, I know I didn't play very well, but hopefully you understand a bit more about him. But I think that's it for today. I'll see you guys later. Bye.